I'm not one of those type of individuals that, don't want to, say how I came up. No, I want to say how I came up. It was a struggle. There was roaches, there was rats, there was things. And that one visit became 2 visits. That 2 visits became 3 visits. That 3 visits became, okay, I'm kind of getting serious about God again, and I didn't even realize I would be doing this. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting rebaptized and recommitting my life to Christ.
This is the very first, the catalyst to episodes. We have the Soul Narrative podcast.
Of course.
We started from the ground up, and we piggybacked off of what you guys had, and we just started from somewhere that we didn't think that we was gonna go. It was just 2 sneakerheads meeting up with another one.
Mm-hmm.
So man, this is called The Narrative. One-on-one conversations, one-on-one talks, just straightforward. We want to hear your story. We want to hear, where you came from and how everything ties together. Not just sneakers, but where you originated from.
Mm-hmm.
So man, on The Narrative, we're basically just letting you guys run.
Absolutely.
It's no holding back. Certain people may say certain words that may not be politically correct, but who cares? This is you guys' story.
Mm-hmm.
Man, as me being Dre and you being Retro, we started something that everybody don't understand.
Right.
So by we actually starting The Narrative, you the first, man. This is the first episode. This is the first thing,
I'm excited, man. I'm excited, especially being the first one. So, hopefully I can set the tone the way it's supposed to be set. And after that, everything will fall where it's supposed to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, yeah. Man. So man, if everybody don't know you,
yes,
but we're talking about Retro Ryan, sneakerhead extraordinaire, rapper coming back out of retirement, aka Truth.
Yeah.
Christian, husband, father.
Proud husband. Proud Christian.
There you go.
Proud.
Motivator, uplifter, and just somebody that you can actually call a brother.
Absolutely.
Somebody that people try to understand, but you like every time you turn the camera on, you're like ever changing. Like you don't know who you're gonna be tomorrow, you don't know who you're gonna be today. But when that camera come on, it's somebody that's like hilarious at the end of the day, man. So I'm not gonna get too far into it, but I'm just gonna let you tell your story from the beginning.
Yeah.
Tell everybody how you started, where you came from, where Retro came from, even the music. Just give us background information on you and how you got started.
So this is life in general. This has nothing to do with sneakers, right? We just starting it off with where I'm from, where I started. Okay, well, let's just get right into it.
Just you.
Most people online call me Retro Ryan. Of course, that's a moniker, but my real name is Ryan Cone. No affiliation. Had to say that. Now we're going to move forward. Don't be laughing in the background, Dre. Y'all can, look, y'all see, Dre. All right, so this is what we do, man. I grew up actually in the Allendale region. This is where my upbringing was. Definitely a rough neighborhood. Mom worked 2 jobs. Dad was basically out in the streets a bunch, dealt with alcohol, drugs, different things like that. This is pretty much what I grew up in. But they were in the house. For people that think that 2-parent households, everything is like sweet, it wasn't all the time. But the beautiful thing about it was my mom and dad, even though there were a lot of challenges, they made it work. And they made it work for us because it was me, my older brother, my older sister, and my little sister, who passed away when I was 11. Well, when she was 11, I was 14 actually. And but yeah, we grew up in Canaan Village Projects. A lot of people don't know where that is, but we're from Shreveport, Louisiana. And Canaan Village is really right next door to the elementary school that I grew up going to, called Ingersoll Elementary. Had a hole in the fence, and we would go in through that hole, go to school, go back through that hole, go home. And this is basically how I came up. So tough upbringing. My brother was gang affiliated. I don't even know if he wants me to tell that, but it's the truth. It's how I perceived my brother coming up. He was gang affiliated, and he was a blood in my neighborhood. So basically, this is all I knew. There was a real fear coming up You couldn't say certain things. You couldn't wear certain things, but he made me tougher. I became a tougher individual. I was able to, work through a lot of things that, were challenging growing up, right? Kids who were smoking at a young age, who were selling drugs at a young age, doing certain things. A lot of those guys were my friends, right? But I had a choice to make. And one of the things that my brother did, which I will always respect him for, he always used to say to me, no matter what you do, no matter what I do, you better not do it. So regardless of what I'm in, what I'm doing, what I do, you bet not do it because you're going to be better than me. And a lot of the times my dad wasn't around. So my brother was kind of a father figure to me in a way because my mom was working 2 jobs. So she really wasn't at home. So it was my brother and my older sister job to take care of me and my little sister. So coming up, look, man, we struggle. We didn't have much. I'm talking about hand-me-downs, black bag, right, comes in full of clothes, hand-me-down clothes. These clothes were for this place called On Time Fashion. Y'all, so if you don't know about On Time Fashion, they had a lot of different suits, a lot of different clothing and different things up inside of there. My mom used to work there. And when she worked there, she would come home every now and then with hand-me-downs from the owner's children's that basically their wardrobe that they didn't wear anymore. And they would put it in a plastic bag and bring it over to our house. And what we would do is we would pass these clothes around and try to figure out what we could actually fit. Right. So basically it became this thing. Well, look, if we can fit it, it's yours. So, we pass around jeans, shirts, whatever we can find, and that was our upbringing. It was a struggle, roaches, rats. Let's keep it a buck. I'm not one of those type of individuals that, don't want to, say how I came up. No, I want to say how I came up. It was a struggle. There was roaches. There was rats. There was things that basically a regular individual wouldn't be able to get through. But this was my life and this is what I dealt with. But my mom and dad did everything that they could in the best of their abilities to take care of me and my family. So let's take all of that struggle, all of that pain, and bring it to where my love for sneakers come from. So growing up, as I just mentioned to y'all, there was a lot of that going on. But one of the things that was really cool about my older brother, while he was in the streets, one of the things I could always look to for him was having a fresh pair of sneakers on. In particular, Air Max 95s, the neon pair. Yeah, this is how it started for me, looking in the house, then looking outside at the people who are around him, right? So you're looking at these shoes and you're like, man, like you really think to yourself, this is how you can become cool. You have to have the change. You have to have the sneakers. You have to have the fits. And this is how I came up. So it basically inspired me to want shoes like my brother, want shoes like the people or the dope boys that was in my neighborhood rocking this heat on feet, right? Because it looked like the cool thing to do. But my mom just couldn't afford it.
Right.
And, she would have these moments where she would shock me. I tell this story all the time and I'm excited to tell it on this narrative moment right here. When I was coming up, I think this was about maybe 3rd grade. My mom, she really couldn't afford much. So what she would do is she would take us to places that sold shoes for cheap. And before school, she would basically say, this is what I can afford. Pick what you can get. And 3rd grade at the time, I didn't know what I was grabbing. I just thought, hey, it looks like a decent shoe. So I'll get those, right? And I grab these shoes and I go to school and man, on the bus, I just get clown, bro. Like I get like destroyed. I mean, just jokes on top of jokes and really hurt my self-esteem coming up in the 3rd grade. And I remember this vividly about getting clowned the way that I did on the way to the bus. And I remember coming home and just looking at my mom and I'm just crying and I'm wondering like, man, like, how could you do this to me? Like, how could you send me to school like this? And, it just felt like I was getting bullied and it was just so much, right, for a kid to take in. But not understanding now as a man, my mom was just doing what she could do.
Yep. Yep.
She was
That's
just
exactly
doing
right.
what she had the ability to do. It was a struggle, but somehow, some way, going back into the story, after I cried, after I did all of these things, the next day there was a pair of sneakers, and specifically this pair was one that I had been looking at and telling my mom that I really, really wanted, and she said that she couldn't afford them. And the next day, after I cried and was real emotional about the whole situation that happened at school, bro, that pair of sneakers was on the table. That pair of shoes that she said she couldn't afford. I don't know to this day. Matter of fact, she hasn't even ever told me how she was able to acquire these shoes.
Yeah,
But
they're not gonna tell you how they. They're not gonna tell you how they
exactly.
acquire.
But she was able to get them, and I just remember me going back to school the next day with these brand new Arab Tempo Nikes, and man, the praise, the adulation, the respect that was garnered for coming to school with heat on feet, so to speak. I never wanted to, feel less than that ever again. It was a feeling that I wanted every time that I stepped outside.
Yeah.
That same feeling that I felt on the bus with Ryan, look what Ryan got on, the new. And it was just an amazing feeling. So I always say that was the start of my sneaker journey. But you know what's crazy? If I double back, remember I said that my brother was a huge sneakerhead, and it was a pair of Laney Jordan 5s.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is the original white pair with the blue tongue and yellow Jumpman.
Right.
All right. So this pair was immaculate to me. I got to use that word. This pair was immaculate. And my brother rocked them. I remember the first time he brought them in the house, and I was just like in awe of this shoe, because you got to understand, when I was coming up, we couldn't afford Jordans. This was a shoe that was really, really difficult to obtain.
Right.
So my brother brought him in, and I'm seeing this lifestyle that he's living, and I want that for me. And I remember me sneaking in my brother's closet and basically putting these shoes on, bro, and just walking around the house. Sometimes when he was far away, I would walk through the neighborhood and act like they were mine.
Yeah.
Until one day he actually caught me in them. And yeah, he got on me. It was really, really tough because, I just wanted to be cool as him. But, eventually my brother gave me those shoes. Now, he gave them to me when they were a little bit worn in, but he gave me those shoes. And I got to tell you, I wore those shoes until the sole literally came apart off the shoe because I loved them that much.
True meaning of a grail.
Now, to this day, people always wonder, like, why are you so big into shoes? Why so many? Why do you keep wanting more? Well, you got to understand where I come from and where I was. None of these shoes were obtainable when I was a little kid. And I promised myself that when I was a man, not only would I take care of my family and make sure that they're straight and got everything that they want, all those shoes that I wanted when I was a kid, I'm going to go back and grab when I'm a man and I'm able to go and get them myself. So this is a representation of hard work. Every pair that I got. This is a representation of me putting in the work and the time and the effort to get these shoes. But most importantly, this is a representation of God blessing me with all of this that I have right now. Because a lot of people don't understand how these things go hand in hand. For me, God became really important young because I was raised as a church kid. But I left the church. I didn't want anything to do with it. You could basically say I was churched out. But once I met my wife, who actually brought me back to church, or in this case, God sent me an angel to bring me back to church.
Straight up.
And basically, I got back into it and I recommitted my life to Christ. I got rebaptized, and now my perspective has changed tremendously. Because if you remember what I said, I worked hard and I earned all this stuff. Now the reality is God gave me all of this stuff.
Right.
All these things that I wanted, the desires of my heart, I stayed faithful, and I believe God. I believe that. I don't care what anybody else believes. I believe God blessed me with every single pair that I have. So my connection with my shoes is more than just materialistic things. They're not idols to me. I don't put them before God. But these are things that I wanted as a young man, and now I want them as a grown man, and God has blessed me tremendously to be able to have them. So that's kind of like a brief synopsis of how I came up, where I'm from, how it was difficult, the struggle, and that's my tie-in to sneakers and a little bit about my life.
Cool. So let me ask you this: what kind of, like, you said that you were churched out when it came down to, you know, everything. What kind of forced you to go that way, even though you can count it as blessings right now, and you can count it all joy right now, which is scripture. What kind of made you go that other way to be like, man, I'm just sick of it. I'm just tired of it.
You know what's crazy, bro? I can be honest, and I like to always be honest whenever like questions like this are asked. I guess it was the fact that I felt like I was living more for what my parents wanted and grandparents wanted, because at the time my grandfather was a preacher. My mom, of course, my grandmother was the first lady, and my mom was really heavy into the church. So with all of that in mind, they basically just made it really difficult for me, because I was expected to be either a preacher, a deacon, or something of importance within the church. But that wasn't something that I wanted at the time. And at the time, I just felt like I wanted my own lane as a young man becoming a man. And once I got the opportunity to leave and go, and by the way, shout out to Northwestern State, when I left off and went to college, that's where I went. And basically, bro, I never looked back, because I had the opportunity to make my own decisions now. And I felt like a lot of the decisions were made for me coming up as a young man. A lot of the decisions, Ryan, you're going to church. Ryan, you're going to love God. Ryan, when people pray for you, you're supposed to fall out. Ryan, when the drums and everything are jumping, you're supposed to be jumping up around this church. But I'm like, well, I don't feel like doing that. I've always been kind of like, you know, the movie The Matrix.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been outside of it,
Yeah.
so to speak. You know, while everybody else is like locked in on the same thing, I'm that guy standing on the outside like, why? Like, why do I have to do that? And I've always been like that. So as a young man, I just looked at it like, you're trying to force me into something. I get why you do it, but that doesn't mean I have to do it how you do it. Let me love God the way I want to love God. And that was the challenge coming up, bro. So with that in mind, that's what forced me out and put me at a place where I wanted to be kind of on my own for a while. Not godless, because God never leaves you, even if you think that you've left him. But I still felt churched out, so I was done. So I left and went to Northwestern College, and I was completely over anything God related. I didn't go to church during my whole tenure out there. They would try to go to chapel, different things like that while I was out there. Just like, nah, I'm good, man. I lived that life twice over, I felt like, as a young man.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's kind of my reasoning for leaving in the first place.
Okay. Man, we kind of leave and then we come back.
Of course.
When it comes down to it, because like you understand like the honesty aspect of it, and you understand what God is pulling you back to, and what he has brought you through in order to pull you back into it.
Absolutely.
What was your experience at Northwestern, as far as you just being like a regular just person that's going to Northwestern?
Man, you know, of course, you know, as a young man who now is experiencing the world, a lot of wilding out, and that's what you expect from a youngster who's never experienced anything outside of the church. I'm finally becoming a young man. Women are thinking I'm an attractive young man. So of course I'm having fun. I'm living life, and I'm not thinking about God, because at this time, that's all I was ever taught to think about was God. And out there, I just wanted to be free. I just wanted to live life. And I had actually, he's basically a brother. His name is Alan Carroll. I call him AJ. AJ is family. And he was already out there in Northwestern. Now, me and AJ, you know, had a lot of fun out at NSU, man. You know, just hanging out, chilling, you know, getting our work done, but also living life as young men. And y'all know what I mean, so I don't got to go into detail.
Right.
So, but you know, something crazy happened. And I got to implement this story. And I always tell this story because it was powerful. And this is before I even recommitted my life to Christ. One night, we're at a party at NSU, and you know, we're just hanging out, you know, dancing to the music, just having a good time. And It was me, AJ, and another friend of ours. And we just hanging out, we chilling, you know. And I'm looking around and AJ's disappeared. And like I'm just searching, almost like, you know, where's my bro? Where's he at? And finally I spot him and he's at the top of the bleacher. And he's almost like he's not talking to himself, but you can tell he's kind of like in a zone, like a mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I see him and I walk up the bleachers and I sit right next to him and I'm like, man, you good? And basically, AJ basically said, man, I feel like God's dealing with me right now, Ryan. Like he's telling me I'm doing a lot of things the wrong way and I got to get my life together with God, man. And it was crazy because at this time, you know, we wasn't thinking about, you know, God or anything like that.
You just living.
But that's the line that he hit me with. And it just kind of shook me. And when AJ went back home, AJ literally did exactly what he said he would do. And I respect him so much for that. He came back home. He got closer to God. And eventually AJ became a person that was preaching in the pulpits, the same pulpits that me and him used to be sitting out in the crowd, kind of, you know, not laughing at the preachers, but almost in a sense like this ain't something we'll do. And I was watching him in those same like moments that we would look at the preachers and be like, this ain't something we would do. And now I see him up there in the same spot doing what we thought we never do. And at this point, I was just, there was a sense of pride and just being proud of him for doing exactly what he said. But this is all at NSU. And what's crazy is this was around the time I had just started dabbling in music. Now, the music scene was a really hard one to crack into. And the reason because in Shreveport, the ratchet scene was looked at as the only way that you can make quality music in this region. And when you don't do that type of music, you can expect no popularity within this music space if you don't do that type of music.
Yeah.
So it was challenging, man. I had just came back. AJ was here. Found it, you know, his beautiful wife. Shout out to her, Christina. And they ended up getting married. AJ is still a preacher to this day. Extremely proud of him and everything that he's accomplishing and everything that he will accomplish for God. But this was at a time that I had cracked into music. And of course I heard AJ, but you know me, I'm still living.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna let that get me back into this whole churched out, you know, like mode where I'm just like recommitting my life to Christ and all this other stuff. I'm not doing all that. I'm still living. So I got into music. And of course, I go by the name Truth Music. And at this time, I was really, really heavy into what I was trying to do. But my sound was different. I grew up on Outkast. I grew up on Jay-Z. I grew up on Biggie. I grew up on Pac. These type of influences from my brother, who was also a rapper, not just a gang member, but a rapper. And very much so inspired me to actually pick up a pen and a pad and start rapping. Now, I had never been in a studio. I had never been in a position where I could actually deliver my rhymes in a way that it could be respected in any kind of way. So I came back to Shreveport and I'm going to Bipsy at this time. We touched back down. My mom, shout out to Bipsy. My mom had lost a job. She had been there, I think mom had been there for about 14 years, Horseshoe Casino. She lost a job. And when she lost her job, it was at a terrible time because my father was getting sick. And I felt like I had an obligation to come back and assist and help in any way that I could. So I left NSU and I came back to Shreveport. Well, I in turn got a job and then started trying to help my family out. This was around the time where I met a young man named Tay. Now, Tay had started a group that he had started way back in high school called the Goodfella Crew, GFC. And basically this group, I had never heard of them, but Tay kicks off a cypher in the middle of Bipsy. And he starts rapping. I started rapping because at this time, I think I got a few skills. So let me write down a few rhymes and see what I can spit in front of these people. And hopefully, you know, somebody might feel it.
Yeah, somebody.
So
might have grabbed it.
The bars that I kick, you know, people's rocking with it, but all of a sudden this guy from New York comes up and his name is Skip. And shout out to my bro Skip. And Skip is from Yonkers. So Cypher's freestyling, that ain't nothing to him. This is what he does, right? So he comes over and he shuts down the Cypher. But come to find out, Tay and Skip, they're close. And they're in this group called the Goodfella Crew. This group hears me spit and offers me basically like an audition. I go to the crib and they basically put a beat out. They say, if you rip this, we'll let you into the crew. Of course I did. Not cocky, just confident. Of course I did. And then from there, I end up getting into the Goodfella Crew, and we started making, music. The music journey was fun, man. It was a lot of fun, right? Got to meet a lot of dope people. I told you earlier before the camera started rolling, we opened up for Duro at Wiley College. That was an experience. We had a lot of moments, man. We traveled many places performing as a hip hop group, and it was great for the time that it was. But everybody was becoming adults now. People were having children. My bro Skip ended up getting married, having a family. He ended up moving. Tay ended up getting married, had a family, ended up moving. One to Boston, the other one to Atlanta. So it's just a lot changed during that time frame. So I ended up becoming a solo artist. And from that solo journey, man, so many blessings came of that. I got to not only rap all around the world, hundreds of thousands of views on music videos that I've done, and eventually got the notoriety that I wanted in this city, Shreveport, Louisiana, that this is a great music artist. And he's doing it with a sound that's not like everybody else. And I got respected, and that's all I ever wanted, was the respect. Now, the fame, that really didn't, bother me. I just wanted the respect within my own lane. And I felt like I eventually got that. So I brought that music journey up because that's how I met my wife.
Mm.
The music journey led me to eventually being a person that was a regular here at an open mic called Words Over Latte. Shout out to Words.
Shout out
to Kristen for starting that establishment.
Legendary, man. I remember those days, bro.
This is where it all began. And a lot of amazing things happen at Words Over Lattes. And it's actually where I met my wife to be. And remember, this is at a time I don't want nothing to do with God. I don't want nothing to do with church. I don't want nothing to do with none of that. And what ends up happening is, as we're starting to date and I'm courting my soon-to-be wife, she asked me to go to church with her. Now, I just told you, I'm done with church. I don't want nothing to do with it. No. I said I'm done. I'm churched out. But I don't know, something in the delivery, something in who it was it drew me to going back to worship. And the message that I received on that day was something that I was currently dealing with. Ain't that crazy? How you can go to service and literally hear a message and the message is perfect for you.
Yeah.
When you're going through a certain situation and the message is literally catered to you.
I'm talking right to you, right at the right time.
It's literally a
right moment,
message,
everything.
Right moment, right time, right everything. And that one visit became 2 visits. That 2 visits became 3 visits. That 3 visits became, okay, I'm kind of getting serious about God again, and I didn't even realize I would be doing it. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting rebaptized and recommitting my life to Christ. And it's a crazy journey through all of the little details that happened that led back to me recommitting my life to Christ. But I love it, man. I love how it happened, right? It happened the way it was supposed to. And that's kind of how I spent the block and came back to God. Yeah.
That's cold.
Yeah.
That's cold. We spent the block and came.
Uh-huh.
God dealt with you through that whole journey and brought you back out of what you was saying that you didn't want no part of and brought you back to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it brought you back to it through a person that you didn't think was going to bring you back to it.
Not at all.
She roped you right back into the spirit.
She did.
So this huge because, we went through similar journeys to where you know, at a point in my time I felt the same way. I was going through some of the same things. I didn't want anything to do with it, you know, lifestyle out there and everything. And then you meet somebody that doesn't do nearby what you thought that you was gonna do. Doesn't live a lifestyle that you know, don't even much think that they would live. They would go to work and come home or just do simple stuff. And they bring you right back into the fold again, bro. So you said your wife brought you back to Christ.
She did. She did.
Is she a good motivator for you now?
Oh, absolutely. 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 I feel like, you know, Callie is a huge motivator. You know, one that I definitely can say this all the way. Man, I have an incredible wife, Callie Cone, and, you know, one of the most hardest working women in the world. And, you know, one of the most supportive women in the world. And one of the things about Callie is, man, she supports me even when I have some of the most knuckle-headed or bone-headed ideas or dreams or things that I think I can accomplish. One of the things about my wife is she's going to give me the support, but she's also going to keep it real with me. And she's been like that since day one. And that's one of the things that I love about Cal is that she's going to keep it a buck with me. She's going to keep it a buck with me. And yeah, man. So yeah, one of the most supportive women ever, really guided me through a lot of difficult situations. And she's been there through some of my biggest wins. And I'm thankful to God that I've had her on this journey with me, man. And we got so much more to accomplish. So yeah, but my wife's amazing.
Nah, man, that's good to know, man, because Cal, man, just by knowing of her back in the day when we was when we was in the Words of a Latte scene too, because I was a manager back in the day dealing with music, dealing with other artists at the time, and I was an engineer on top of it. Her name used to ring all the time as far as keeping that place lifted, keeping that place moving, keeping it going, everything. It's like you never think certain things or certain people would meet and actually be a part of each other's journey, man. Sure. But you guys just on a journey, man, about her, because she's a manager and she put like I'm not gonna say too much.
She'll be embarrassed by that because you know
she's so humble. She's a beast when it comes down to marketing.
Right.
She's a beast. Even back then when I knew of her, she was always a beast when it came down to it.
Absolutely, man.
And man, she's marketing one of the top people as far as social media in the industry. I'm not gonna say who. I leave that to you.
No, that's fine actually.
Man, but she stays on top of it. It's just one of those people that you don't think that she's in your corner as far as being on the outside looking in as a friend, but she is.
Oh yeah, man.
And you're like, is Callie really right with it? But she is. She be on top of it. So that's a plus, bro. So that's awesome to hear. How I'm asking off the wall questions. So how does she feel about your sneaker journey?
So, you know what's crazy? When I first met my wife, she was definitely not a sneakerhead. My wife wore heels and flats. That was her go-to. And that was all she wore. And I think she didn't, I know she didn't know how bad of an addiction I had towards copping sneakers. She didn't. Until she actually realized how big I was into sneakers. And you know what's crazy? Something happened that I didn't think would happen. I really didn't. Callie became a sneakerhead. She would watch the way that I would put shoes with fits and different things. And eventually she said, hey, I want to be comfortable and fly at the same time too. Fly, showing my age, 37. Fly, you know, these youngsters don't say fly no more. We still say it.
Yes,
but yeah, you know, I want to be fly too. So basically what I ended up doing is I copped her first pair of sneakers. And man, why did I do that? Because ever since that first cop, Callie has been on her own sneaker journey. And I think right now, Callie probably has somewhere between 10 to 20 pairs of shoes, which is a big deal for her, coming from the fact that she was not into shoes at all when I met her. Now she's actually really heavy into them and she just rotates her sneakers. Some of the biggest pairs I think she has, I know she has the Biohack Jordan 1s. She has the Raw Toe 1s. She's a big Jordan 1 fan, by the way, y'all. Big Jordan 1 fan.
My wife is too. They're real comfortable.
Yes, and she likes the fact that they're like a slim sneaker, so they look really good on her feet. They do. It's a great shoe for her. And she loves dunks. She actually just bought the Union dunks. So that's her newest pair. is the Union Dunks. And she was actually on the front of the 318 magazine that just dropped wearing those Dunks. So like, you know, and look, she could have wore heels, what she's used to. She could have wore flats, but she decided to wear sneakers because not only is her husband a huge sneaker fan, now she's a huge sneaker fan. So she wants to join in that fold, so to speak.
And that's a huge enhancement, you know, and it kind of keeps you uplifted and makes you believe that you're doing something right, that they're, you know, comfortable with doing, because, you know, as far as being a husband, like, you know how
it's
tough it is,
rough.
because my wife wasn't a sneakerhead neither until I end up, you know, tying fits together and doing certain things or whatever. And even I stopped dealing with sneakers for like many years coming from high school, and then me end up buying with the Jordan 12 Stealths for my daughter Taya. And I'm like, just to see the look on her face and the gleam in her eye when she put that fit together, it ignited something back in me. But not only me, it ignited something back in my wife too. And my wife had the jump fly too. So she's working on what, like 30 pair, I think, now that you try to wear, huh, Taya?
Yeah.
So, but
that's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, man. So
leaders of the new school.
Exactly, man. So as far as dealing with sneakers and the story that you guys have created together, how does she enhance your sneaker journey as far as helping you business wise with it?
Yeah, man. You know, well, Callie is one of those type of people. As I told you, she's very, very supportive. So she's a idealistic person as far as the things that she can bring to the table that can enhance or help me when I'm in front of the camera and behind the camera. So she helps me from that aspect. She helps me from the marketing aspect because she's a genius when it comes to social media marketing and how to put things out at the right time, when you're supposed to do it, how you're supposed to do it, what's going to get it seen, monetizing your, growth on social media. These are the type of things that if I didn't have Callie, I wouldn't know how to, execute that. So it's cool having a wife that's in-house that I can go to. Hey, Callie, I got this idea. And I'm trying to figure out how not only I can monetize it, but how I also can grow on social media using this niche that I'm trying, this lane that I want to create. And, my wife is one of those type of people. She's savvy. She's so savvy in this field that she can give me concepts. She can give me ideas. She can give me ways that I might not have looked at before that can actually help me with what I'm trying to do. And she's been doing that. That's pretty much what my wife does regularly when it comes to me and my sneaker journey, right? With us, with the podcast and different things like that. She has ideas with that. And sometimes it's not even me bringing you an idea. It's actually my wife giving me an idea and I bring it to y'all. Sometimes y'all might not even know that. It might not even be my idea. It might be Callie's idea. And I just said, hey, we should do this just to see what y'all think. And sometimes y'all be like, man, that's a good idea. But it wasn't my idea. It was actually Callie's idea. I've done that before. So, but I ain't gonna hop on and be like, hey, my wife said, no, it's just, hey, we should, you ever thought about this?
Don't shoot the messenger.
You ever thought about this?
Don't shoot the messenger.
And y'all say this, and all right, cool. So, okay, Callie, I'm telling my bro here now, these are your ideas, baby, in a lot of places. These are your ideas. These are your ideas. A lot of these ideas that I've given my boys on how we can enhance and grow have been my wife's. And, she's been extremely helpful in that regard. And I'm thankful for real.
Man, well, that's tough. How do you think you've grown so far when it comes down to just social media in general? Like, did you think your name was going to start ringing in some place, or you were just doing it just for the love of it?
I was just a shoe lover starting out this journey. Of course, Preach is who I actually started it with. And then, of course, my bro, Dre, once you got into this, I was just excited because it's three people that love sneakers, just through and through, just love sneakers, man. This is like a true love for us. So when I started, that's all I really cared about, was just showcasing my love for shoes and seeing who else loves sneakers like I loved them, not knowing that any type of growth would happen. And sometimes, this is one of the things I want to say, sometimes growth isn't just your following count. Sometimes growth is seeing the areas, you just mentioned it, seeing the areas your name is ringing now that wasn't before, seeing opportunities come about that you wouldn't have had before. And that is growth to me too. It's not just the following count. It's the opportunities. It's, these chances that are coming available, thank God, available to us now with the journey that I've been on. I mean, we just got back from Cincinnati, Ohio. I got invited personally to go to a sneaker release through Phil and Unheard Of with Adidas. At first, I had no connection there. I had no invite there. I had no ties. But work, not only with you, Dre, online, and all of the stuff that's been going on, and God, of course, being the mixer of this big pot of gumbo, and just made it happen. God made it happen. These are the chances that I'm talking about. The blessings that have come of the work. So growth to me is a mixture of things. Like I said, it's just not the follow account. It's the opportunities. It's the chances. It's the respect. Remember I told you earlier, I wanted the respect.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is that I think that now in this game, people respect what I do when it comes to sneakers. Because in Shreveport, it's not many people that are talked about when it comes to shoes. I'm one of them now. And that to me means everything. So when you start talking about, man, any Shreveport sneakerheads, my name is going to be in there somewhere. And that matters to me. That means something to me because I really do have a passion for this. So to get that respect, that's growth to me.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge, man. And your name is ringing in a lot of, like aspects, like as far as what's going on now. Are there like any plans in the future to be able to to kind of like push it further, go harder?
Well, yes, of course, man. We're already working with the narrative, not only clothing brand, but the podcast. We want to continue to grow and get that bigger because I really feel like we have great content and great topics and just great energy. And not only that, we're putting on for God and family and sneakers. It's not just sneakers. And I think that with that trio, we're going to have success. We're just literally on the cusp of all the great things that we've been working on. Not to mention all of the things that I'm trying to accomplish within my individual self. I just released a book. And with that release of that book, we've had people buying the book. I feel great about that. We've had many people reach out to us. I got something coming up this summer with the Volunteers of America. I've read for the kids at the Salvation Army. I've been really, really pushing that book because it's a sneaker book that tells the story of how my mother inspired me to work hard for a pair of shoes that I really wanted. And I think everybody can relate to that, earning what you want out of life. That's the message. And I think the book is one that a lot of people should check out. And if you're watching this, shameless plug, my book is called My First Pair. And I think y'all should definitely check it out. If you're following me, that link will be in the bio. You can just tap that and go right into it or DM me. I'll send you the link. And but it's a great book. It's a great read. I think for children everywhere, it's one that should be in constant rotation for parents when it comes to bedtime stories and in libraries when young men need to see themselves in the book, right? And by the way, I'm not just talking about Black young men. I'm talking about any young man or any young girl that is thinking to themselves, like, I really like sneakers and, or they really like just being confident within themselves. I think this book gives confidence within oneself. Mm-hmm. That's what I believe my book does. So I think people should get on it for sure. But I got a lot of stuff we've been working on, bro. And those are just some of the few examples.
Perfect. What is there any, personal goal for you that you hope for in the future, or if there's, anything that you're looking forward to just on a personal level?
Personally, I just want to get to a point, bro, where I can do this full time. Because as you know, I always keep it a buck. Right now I'm working hard. I love my job because it provides for my family. And that's the 100% truth. I love my job because it provides for my family. But I want to get to a point where I'm only working on what I love. So the book, sneakers, life, I just want to live and enjoy the fruits of that labor with my family while doing what I love. So the personal goal for myself is to not work a 9 to 5 anymore. a personal goal for me is to be able to live and have a sustainable living just off my sneaker content alone. So that's what I'm pushing for.
Perfect, man. Same with me. Everybody has that goal and that mindset that they want to be like, man, I just want to do this full time, because like we look at people that we're affiliated with that are now doing what they love to do full time.
Exactly.
Like we look at Chanel and Dothan.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing what they love to do, what they always set out to do, because
Absolutely.
this was
shout out to Bro and Sis, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. Because this was a goal for them, not only in their eyes, but the ability to be able to worship God, thank God, and be able to do what they're able to do personally, and not have to deal with a job or go somewhere else or go punch somebody else's clock. So that's a definite goal for all of us, bro. Like man, what like if there was anything that happened in the past, like even when you was younger, do you regret any of it?
Nah, man, I don't. I have no regrets, simply because I feel everything happened the way. I tell Cal this all the time. It's crazy that you just said that, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. I do. I do. In my neighborhood, just to piggyback off of like going back in the past real quick. Remember I told you how grimy and how hard-nosed the hood was and how difficult it was?
Yeah.
When I was I would say about 11, maybe 12, I had a gun pulled on me walking down the street. Randomly.
That's
pulled it
wild.
up, pulled it right in my face. I'm just a little kid. And you know that they were just pulling it out just to scare me? That's all. Pulled it right back into the window, drove off.
So
but I think about moments like that when I could have possibly lost my life. When I think about how I came up, and I think to myself, I think God is just putting in perspective and showing me, hey, things could have been a lot worse. And look at you now. Look at you now. And that's why every day, bro, I wake up like I struggle with things like every human does. But I really try my best to be more thankful about how I'm currently living. And not thinking, man, I wish I had this, or I wish I had that. Yeah. I mean, we can wish and we can, say all of that, but let's be factual. Ryan ain't in that house with roaches and rats no more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Ryan ain't catching a bus every day like I was, because I didn't have any wheels. I'm not. That's not my struggle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's somebody else's struggle, though. So what do I look like complaining when I know what it was like to truly struggle and to truly go through something? So I'm going to thank God, man. Every day I'm going to be appreciative of what the journey is. I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to push. And at the end of the day, if it's something God wants to grow, then he's going to water that and make it grow. If it's not, then it wasn't for me. 100%. That's how I got to think about it. So
100%, man. Man, it's been interesting to not only hear this story for a second time, because me and you had this conversation when we was coming back home from Cincinnati. It was this year, it was last year.
Yep.
But we had this conversation about, our lives and basically this same exact story and this same exact narrative, this narrative moment that you talked about. Mm-hmm. We had this conversation. Is there any guidance that you can give younger people that don't know what we've struggled with and what we deal with today?
Yeah. Even if you haven't struggled, I think being appreciative has nothing to do with struggle. You don't have to struggle to be appreciative of the life that you're currently living, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, a person that has went through it and saw their lives change, whether through what they believe is God or they just believe, hey, good luck or whatever the case may be, their lives are better, right? Whatever that is that makes a person appreciative from a change of their circumstances, yes, that's great. But even a person that's had it all, it's kids out here that don't know anything about the struggle. Heck, our babies don't know anything about the struggle.
Right.
But one thing I try to teach them, and this is advice not only for my kids, but younger people who don't have struggle or challenges, you still need to be appreciative of the life you've been given. Because at any moment, that life can be taken away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't talking about death. I'm talking about the current state that you're in. Whether you're rich, wealthy, have an amazing job, have an amazing family, have an amazing car, have an amazing house, that's just something that can be taken away from you. So be grateful for your circumstances. That's my advice for everybody. Be grateful for your circumstances because they can always be worse. They can always be worse.
100%, man. And I'm happy you was able to share that, bro. It's everything can be worse. It can always be way worse than what we set it out to be. It's
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's mindset, man. We gotta keep our mindset locked on what it needs to be locked on,
Yes,
bro.
indeed.
And man, that's all I got, bro. Like you took it right out of my mouth, bro. Like I said before, this interview, you gave it a name earlier. We gonna run with it as narrative moments.
Narrative moments. There you go.
Narrative moments, man. And this is a catalyst for what we set out to do as narrative. You know, now, man, it's not. It grew to not just me, you, and preach. It grew to me, you, preach, Kitty, and
Shout
Q.
out to Kitty and Q. Shout
Man,
out to Preach.
it's a unit for us, and this is just something that we want to share our stories because people don't understand what we have been through in order to get to this point.
Absolutely, man.
You know, relationally, like with our wife and our children,
Absolutely.
spiritually with God, financially with the, you know, kicks and stuff like that we have, man. Everything has been a blessing.
Absolutely.
And man, it's a blessing for me to be able to much make it to Shreveport to much come down and speak with my bro one-on-one, because anytime we come down, like we doing some business, like we going somewhere, we doing something dealing with shoes or sneakers, or we just having a conversation in general. And this is a blessing for me to be able to start this off with you being the catalyst of it.
I'm excited.
You've been the founder of Narrative Moments.
Yeah. I'm excited about it, man.
100% excited for me and for us.
Yes.
Is there any words that you want to part with?
Nah, man. Like I said, your narrative is your narrative. Staying true to that, you know, understand that, you know, it's what made you who you are, you know, your journey. And be proud of that. Whatever that journey is, be proud of that. So I'm thankful for this moment. This was fun. And yeah, man, I hope it blesses somebody in some type of way.
Yes, sir. Me too, man. Retro Ryan Combs. Truth. Bro, it's been a blessing. It's been huge for
Same
me.
here, bro.
It's been huge for me. For people that don't know you, for people that don't, you know, understand your struggle and what you have been put out into the world, whatever, how can people find you online? Where can people, you know, get to know you at online? Is there any social media links they should be going to? Like what?
You can definitely follow me on Instagram at Kixology Sneakers. That's KIXOLOGY Sneakers, spelled correctly. You can also follow me at, I've switched my personal account back. It's no longer Retro Ryan Combs. I'm officially going back to Truth Music.
I saw that.
Yeah, and I've done that because I may have some music on the way for y'all, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, you can follow me there at TROOF Music, spelled correctly after TROOF. So yeah, man, I'm excited. I pray that, like I said, this blesses somebody, but y'all can follow me there. But you also need to make sure y'all following all the narrative accounts and our YouTube page. Dre, tell them where they can find us at, man. They need to be following us.
We are the Soul Narrative.
Yes.
If you look online to YouTube, it's the Soul Narrative Podcast. We have changed it. It's SOLE still, but it's NRRTV. It's narrative just shrunken down with no vowels in it.
There you go.
The acronym of it. If you go to us on Instagram, it's the narrative, our narrative, ONRRTV. If you go to our website, it's our-narrative. Bro, go on there, get the merch.
Get the merch.
Go on there, man. Get the drops that we drop. Go on there and get the things that we release, man.
It's great stuff, y'all.
Retro, aka Truth, got something coming for SocialCon.
Yes.
That was just created. It's a sample.
I gotta say that, man. SocialCon coming up, man.
There we go.
June 13th. Right? My wife, Callie Combs, y'all need to make sure that y'all get at her at Callie Combs. Man, y'all gotta get these tickets. Run them tickets up. Get to SocialCon. The biggest social media conference in Shreveport, Louisiana. Definitely gonna be a problem. We got some amazing people coming down here teaching you the game on how you can be successful on social media. And I know it's a lot of people that want to be successful on social media because I'm one of them. Dre's one of them.
Yes,
So
sir.
at the end of the day, y'all need to be there. Go check it out, man. Look, it's SocialCon Shreveport. Check it out. That's all I'm going to say.
Get your tickets, man. You got people that are some heavy hitters in the social space that are going to be there.
Yes.
You should be there. We will be there. Soul Narrative will be there.
We will be there. Checking out Heat on Feet.
On the ones and twos, man.
Yes.
On the ones and twos, it will be an occasion. It will be an event. It will be something dope that's going to be talked about just like it was last year. Last year was dope. Soul Narrative wasn't there last year, but this year we will be there. So we will have that mic up to your face, so you just be ready. Just be ready. We will be there, ready, bro.
For real,
man. SocialCon is getting bigger and bigger, man, and it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge, man. So just look forward to it.
Absolutely,
man.
Yeah, it's been fun, Dre, my boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. We appreciate you, man. We love you, bro. And what's coming through the narrative, man. So just be ready.
Yep. Peace.
Peace.